SpongeBob is the most recognized character across the globe. For millennials and Gen Z, SpongeBob is bigger than Jesus. But just because someone is famous doesn't mean they're a good role model. Just look at every TikTok influencer ever. So, what is SpongeBob teaching children? Is he a good role model? Unlike most other kid cartoon characters, SpongeBob is a young adult kids look up to, opposed to a child they identify with. So, watching as an adult, let's see how SpongeBob prepares children for adulthood. And as an adult viewer, SpongeBob's most impressive attribute is his ability to make and maintain friendships. As anyone over the age of like 26 knows, bowling a perfect game is easier than making new friends. Preserving friendships require work. You can't never talk or hang out with someone and expect to stay close. SpongeBob constantly does stuff with his friends or shows that he cares, like when he got all of Bikini Bottom together when Sandy Cheeks was homesick. Talk about a good pal. The most important friendship lesson that SpongeBob teaches is that you can't expect people to be perfect. Despite Patrick Star's many infractions, SpongeBob always forgives his best friend. We're all human. Despite what Reddit may say, you shouldn't just throw out a friendship because they keep an embarrassing photo of you from the Christmas party, calls you ugly, or hunt you for sport. On second thought, and SpongeBob doesn't just maintain friendships, he's also great at making friends with a lot of different types of people thanks to his consistency. Whether it's a geriatric superhero, meatheads like Larry the Lobster, or scientists like Sandy, SpongeBob connects with a large spectrum of people because he's true to himself and treats everyone the same. SpongeBob's even nice to supervillains like Manta Ray and Plankton, the longtime arch nemesis of the Krusty Krab. Does that leave him open to getting hurt? Yes.
You used me for land development!
But the consistency allows people to trust him. The citizens of Bikini Bottom see SpongeBob and know what to expect. You can't make everyone like you, but you can control how you treat people. You don't need to be SpongeBob level of nice because that will probably get you murdered, but consistent kindness will show everyone around you that you have integrity. Now, with adulthood comes a career and work. While SpongeBob is lucky enough to find something that he both loves and excels at, that typically isn't the case in real life. For most of us, a job is just that, a job. But SpongeBob does emulate some positive attitudes towards work. First, he tries to excel at his job instead of just clocking in and out and giving the bare minimum.
Remember, no employee wants to be a Squidward.
I know that the idea of hard work paying off isn't super popular anymore, but putting in honest effort at least makes me feel proud. And even if you don't want to work hard for yourself, think about all the people you can affect. There's been multiple episodes where SpongeBob gets replaced and customers notice the drastic dip in quality. That's because SpongeBob makes an impact, and so can you. It doesn't take much to have a positive impact on either a customer or a fellow coworker. It can be as easy as making pleasant conversation, demonstrating an earnest willingness to assist, or taking ownership or accountability for an issue. I mean, have you ever talked to a call center agent that actually listens and wants to help you? It's better than sex. Second, SpongeBob finds ways to have fun while working. He's not just mindlessly serving up Krabby Patties all day. He's giving them faces, thinking of creative ways to do his job, and bugging the pants off Squidward. Finding ways to spark joy at work will help avoid burnout. Yes, work is work, but adding a little personal flair to a PowerPoint or making tasteful jokes might make work not that bad. But despite SpongeBob's positive work mindset, he allows himself to get pushed around by Mr. Krabs way too much. I mean, Mr. Krabs almost got SpongeBob to pay him to work at the Krusty Krab. If that isn't some late-stage Bikini Bottom capitalism, then I don't know what is. There's a distinct line between going above and beyond and being taken advantage of. That's why I wish there were more examples of SpongeBob being assertive and advocating for himself. If kids follow SpongeBob's example, they'll think being a walking doormat is a noble, good trait, when in reality, it only hurts the individual. Kids need to learn how to speak up for themselves, and they are definitely not learning that watching SpongeBob. When SpongeBob isn't getting taken advantage of by Mr. Krabs, he fills his free time with tons of hobbies. He's not just clocking out of the Krusty Krab then doom scrolling on Reddit for 8 hours. No, he's out doing stuff. Blowing bubbles, practicing karate, catching jellyfish. These are all great, healthy hobbies that he does for the joy, not for some 24/7 side hustle grind. It might not seem important, but adults need playtime just as much, if not more, than kids. I don't know why it was deemed that after like 5th grade you lose out on recess forever. Kids don't have to file a 1099 tax return. I want 15 minutes on the slide each day. In order to reach some higher level of satisfaction in adulthood, finding time for personal activities is crucial. Whether it's gardening, writing, or spending hours on a YouTube video that only a handful of people watch. Oh my god, I'm wasting my life. And finally, we have SpongeBob's overall personality and resilience. He just doesn't give up. Despite almost killing Mrs. Puff 100+ times, he still shows up for his boating exam. When he's told that he's not a good fit for the Krusty Krab, he proves his worth. This makes him much more real and relatable than, say, characters like Phineas and Ferb, who just perfectly complete something first try every time with almost zero effort. Failure is a universal experience. Death, taxes, and failure. Seeing characters not get depressed over failures helps prepare viewers for their own inevitable failures. It also makes the characters seem more real. Next, SpongeBob is always true to himself. He's not changing his identity to appease Squidward. In real life, we're pressured all the time to conform to other people's expectations. But hiding your authentic self is basically just lying to yourself and others. And if people are just loving you for who you pretend to be, then do they really love you? And despite what it might seem, SpongeBob isn't some goody two-shoes. There's been plenty of episodes where SpongeBob knowingly engages in some sort of bad activity and then even tries to cover it up. This is a great lesson that even good people can do bad things. SpongeBob isn't a bad person for trying to hide the paint spilt on Mr. Krabs' first dollar, stealing a balloon, or even trying to hide the body of an innocent health inspector he poisoned. Kids and adults are going to make mistakes. It's refreshing to see a character not only make mistakes, but dig themselves into an even deeper hole by either lying or covering it up. I really hate characters like Phineas and Ferb or Arnold from Hey Arnold that are just golden children who never do anything wrong ever, because that's not feasible. And finally, SpongeBob feels his emotions. While it's pretty much universally accepted for men to cry nowadays, back in the late 90s...
We don't do that here.
Not so much. I wouldn't be surprised if SpongeBob really helped normalize male tears. That being said, SpongeBob seems to only show 2 emotions: ignorant bliss and Crybaby. So it would be nice to see a much more well-rounded emotional composure. If kids aren't shown healthy expressions of other emotions, they might just try to be happy all the time, which will set them up for failure. Happiness is a good thing to strive for, but it's not sustainable all the time. But probably SpongeBob's worst attribute is his overall intelligence. I'm not saying that all kids' cartoon characters need to be Jimmy Neutron, but SpongeBob takes stupid to a whole other level at times. So where does SpongeBob fall on the scale of good kids character? Thanks to his impressive ability to make and keep friends, incredible work ethic, many hobbies, and his personality, SpongeBob really is one of the greatest kids cartoon characters ever created. He scores right up near the top, ahead of Phineas and Ferb. The only thing holding him back is how two-dimensional he is emotionally and how he's basically a spongy doormat.